Okay, we're back making another video, and I'm using new software. Struggled with finding the right software to do this, but anyway, we move on. I'm very pumped up because I think I found a really powerful way to get the most out of this software and also overcome some of the limitations with my own laptop, which is struggling under the load. So we're going to go to the tester wizard here, and the the can hear the helicopters outside. I just needed, I'm going to scrub this. Okay, you know what? I'm going to carry on. Let's go back. There's a helicopter, but okay. So what I want to do here is let's go straight to the the tester wizard. And the idea here is to help you get started and do a bunch of back tests without having to manually go through each parameter and tweak it. So this is what I'm calling like bulk batch testing, and you'll see I've put lots of guidance and restraints within this so that it doesn't become this curve fitting over optimization tool, which is everything I'm trying to avoid. So I'm using Norgate data. It's daily data. I've tried to help the process because there's so much data and watch lists and all the rest of it. So I'm building a future strategy, and I want to use the classic, all the classics. So the 68 symbols in the classics, and I want to build a balanced. This is not driving a lot of consideration at the moment, but I'll make it more useful down the track. But at the moment, it's of limited use at the moment, just in terms of how I've designed it. Um, did I double click too far? Yeah, I did. So you could actually tell how my laptop's struggling here. So what I want to do is I want to build um, these. You can see that the tactical asset allocation is grayed out, and that's because it's made up of equity and ETFs. So therefore, and you noticed I was using futures, so there's a bit of intelligence in there that it will gray those out, so you don't choose them. Do I want to make this the be all? And because I'm doing a video, I'm not going to do the combos. I'm going to keep that for later. I don't want to be too long, especially it's my first video and I might mess it up. Okay, so now how many parameter variations to test for each strategy? So I'm just going to go with 5. Um, I'm trying to remember if I limited it to 10. I don't want hundreds. And anyway, you'll see in our scoring mechanism, we've got a built-in guardrail against extensive, too much parameter variations. Ends up penalizing your portfolio using Marcus Lopez de Prada and David Bailey's DSR, which is a whole story within the score. Okay, so one of the big important things I believe is having a lot of symbols in your strategy to test for robustness. You don't want something that works for, I don't know, I'm making this up now, the Korean Stock Exchange. You get all excited, oh, it works for the Korean, but it doesn't work on any of the other symbols like the FTSE or the DAX and all that. So if the strategy is robust, it should work against a broad basket. So I've set 10 as the minimum, and therefore the the wizard can look back as far back in its database as possible, that as long as there's 10 symbols. So because I've done this already, there's 47, there's 47 years where if there's 10 symbols. If I went to maybe 3 symbols, probably go back 50 odd years. But we're going to go with this. And now I'm just going to click generate test. And this is where some of the magic is about to happen. Where I'm going to get really excited. So what you've got here is it's set up 45 tests, 2 families. The families are momentum and mean reversion. Must make this column wider. Don't like that. Just something just so you can see. If I clicked on this, you can see the details in there. You could also just test each one on its own, but that kind of defeats the purpose of what we're going to do now. You'll see the magic. Everything's been selected. You could deselect. So let's go like that. Everything's selected, and the Oracle has some reasoning in here. This is actually quite an important point to make here, because I've already inserted my API keys. Damn, yeah, there we go. Things are slow. I'm using Claude. Because my Oracle has an LLM, it will now use its brain and help with the design of the variations. And you can see the variations are all in here, and shows you parameters and all that kind of stuff. So there has been some design. If you haven't put in your AI and you're not using AI to come up with the test variations, don't worry. I've designed a mechanical approach where I've thought things through, and and if you don't have to worry about it, it kind of uses the way I would approach it and builds the variations like that. So the Oracle's actually been built on my philosophy, and of course it's got its own power. So now comes the big excitement. Okay, guys, well, I'm back. What you don't realize is this is take number 5 or 6. I'm exhausted, and this is the button I got to press, and let's hope it works. I'm nervous. Okay. Oh, this is beautiful music to my ears. Let me talk you through what's going on now. Okay, so what I'm exceptionally excited, but we're not all the way there yet, so let me not get too excited. But what's taking place is the data is firstly got to be downloaded. So it's downloaded off my Norgate that's sitting on my machine. It's got to be pushed up into the cloud, which it does very quickly. And what then happens is we have a serverless backend using a platform called Modal, and there you can see it says it's batched 45 tests on Modal. So what's happened is all those 45 tests each have their own container, and they're running simultaneously in parallel. So instead of waiting to do 45 tests with this length of data, probably would take my laptop between 2 and 3 days, non-stop. So that's 24 hours a day for 2 to 3 days. And of course, I wouldn't be able to do anything with it. Look at this. This is now happening all very quickly. I can show you. Let me just show you what's happening. Yeah, maybe I can just spin it up. Hopefully this is visible. Let's see. Yeah. Let me go into the containers. You should see, yeah. So yeah, the 45 containers running. Now, I shouldn't have done that because I've switched over the UIs. Okay, you got to bear with me while I try and bring the screen back. Should never have done that. Okay, you're not missing much at the moment because it's there we go. Just I'm a little bit embarrassed that I have such a weak computer, but budgetary constraints, what can I say? This should, okay. Let me take a deep breath and stop using the machine. Absolutely devastated that, there we go. Okay, so we're up to 10 so far. Something else I wanted to just walk you through is the cost. So my plan is to give every user a budget of around, I think it's $15 or $20 a month is my plan. Thereafter, you'll get charged, but you can kind of see the cost here. It's pretty insignificant. So this is my there. We've done 100 back tests, and it's roughly $2. So just to kind of summarize what I'm trying to achieve with this, the idea is that to set up the back tests, 45 of them will take a long time. I don't have the patience. You've got to really, really be diligent to want to do that and do it methodically and all that. So the wizard takes care of that. You can make 100, depends on exactly amount of variations you're looking at, and so forth. So yeah, so in our case, we're doing about 45, and then the second part is using this cloud infrastructure on a batch basis in a serverless environment is pretty running in parallel, containerized, is pretty awesome, and I'm super pumped about that. And it's going to make using this product so much more easier, but it also make it easier for me not maintaining a fully cloud operated. So this is a hybrid. And Danny, if you're listening, my plan was to be local, but I always had anticipated little bits and pieces in the cloud, but this has happened faster than I expected. And it's really solving a serious pain problem for myself, which is compute power. So why not take advantage of the amazing amount of compute power available for relatively cheap prices now because of the AI boom? Just while I'm filling time here, while this is still running, wait, it's still got a bit to go. It might be sensible to pause this. Let me just figure out how to do that. Don't know how to do that. So it doesn't have that feature, so I'm going to have to cut this. I'm just going to let it run and not feel the need to talk. Okay, the tests were all done a while ago. For some reason, 45. For some reason, there's 15 here and bronze. There's a bug, whatever's going on here, so that I need to look at. Okay, now for the next part, we need to transfer these to the leaderboard. But before we do that, just so you know, there's one feature that's really important that I can see some things are interesting that haven't worked out. Firstly, I want to actually take off all these. I don't want all of these to be transferred. So I can see these. Yeah, there's no trade in. So something's gone wrong in this that I need to investigate. Okay, I can see no trades. Okay, that's why there's 15. So it's not a bug. 15 actually traded. That's okay, got into bronze. So it's not a bug. Good. See, I'm learning at the same time here as well. So I'll need to go and investigate why these didn't trade. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. So let's do this. What we want to do, and I need to, these damn black, can't see these check boxes, yeah? Can't see them nicely. I'm just going to check something. I think, damn it, I've got to lock these tables down. Another bug, so they're editable. Okay, not a big drama. Okay, there's the 15. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these. You get one opportunity. You can delete backtests once only, and that is within the 24 hours that they're done. Thereafter, they memorialize. They're stuck in. So I'm going to transfer this. Keep 15, delete 30. Yes. Okay, what should happen now is we should find them on our leaderboard. Yeah, and there's the leaderboard. And they are in here somewhere. When I say somewhere, there's a way to find them. You can look at the time at the moment is 9:42. So there they are there. But scores are interested. What the hell is this description? Okay. Yeah, and this is very interesting for me. Okay. it's trying to fit everything in. Beforehand, this table, this leaderboard table, had a horizontal scroll bar. I've lost that now. Okay, so it's a new feature for me, a new bug, but all the same, I'm going to end it. I'm satisfied. And there's actually a really cool follow-up to this. You can do the following. Take one of these, and just so you know, we're not going to go into the whole details of it, but you can click on it and it's going to ask a question to the Oracle, and we'll just wait for it to do a response. We're not going to go into the details of the response, but I just want you to see how that one's able to pass the information across and get an intelligent answer from AI commentary. Okay, there we go. So it gives you some comments and some stuff. So for now, we'll stop here.